Hi folks, Becky here. So last time we looked at structure and genre and how your structure or your plan for your song structure might be shaped based on the genre of music that you write or the genre of music that you want to write. So this week we're going to look into that a wee bit more in terms of how we're going to build our world or plan our world out. And by world I mean sonic world, the world that you inhabit musically. And also we're going to look at hook lines and middle eights. So last week we looked at, or 2 weeks ago should I say, we looked at writing our verses, and last week I challenged you to try and write a hook based on the genre that you're thinking of working from. So if you are working from hip hop, then you would have a 4-bar hook. If you're working from pop, an 8-bar hook. And if you're doing a folk song, then a one-liner or something that makes you feel like you have written a killer line. So very, very quickly, we're going to talk about how we can differentiate between the verses and these hooks. And the best way to do that is by changing one specific aspect of the song. So, for instance, if you're writing in pop, maybe you've had we'll use the example of Woodpecker again. So maybe you've had your verses going da 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 da. So that's very much on the rhythm. Da da da. So how am I going to mess my hook up, make it interesting? Well, I'm going to come off the rhythm. Da 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 da. So I'm using my voice to change the rhythm of the song rather than da 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 da. I'm going da 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 da. So that's something you can do rhythmically that will change your the hook and make it sound or feel interesting. What can you do lyrically? Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to be repetitive. So if you've got one killer line for a hook, like tonight's going to be a good night, for instance, repeat that line. Don't add lots and lots of lines into your chorus because it won't feel like a chorus, it'll just feel like another verse. So what you want to do is you want to find that killer line, whatever it is, and you want to work around that line somehow. Great hip hop hooks like Umbrella, or there's a Monster Under My Bed, that's 2 Rihanna songs, but you know, like have very, very, very clear, repetitive vocal and lyrical moments within the hook itself, and the rest of the song has lots and lots of lyrics. With the folk hook, you're looking for one really, really good line, and maybe that's something that's got a bit of a moral lesson, so something like it was never meant to be that way, or don't worry about it, or you know, we live and learn, or something like that. You know, something that makes the song feel like you're capturing the essence of the song. And that's true across all music. Your hook should capture the essence of the song. So if you've just written your hook, make sure that your verses are different from it in lyrical content, in rhythm, and in melodic content. And that melody can be, as we know, repetitive, structural, simple, rhythmic, all the things we looked at before. So for me, of course, it's your heart, my sleep, things are getting quite a mess. Things get crazy when there's something you just don't address. Yes, and back into the verse. Okay, but it'll be different for everybody. So once you're clear on your hook, depending on your chosen genre, then you might also want to put in a middle eight. So if you're writing a rock song or you're writing a pop song that's a bit more complex, perhaps this is where you put your middle eight in. So how can we make an interesting middle eight? Well, it really depends. Firstly, again, just like with a hook, you can switch the chords up. So some people, what they do is, if their verse and chorus is like, then in their middle eight, they might go for a minor chord to start it off. So I'm I'm using the same chords, but I've switched them up, and that gives me something different within the middle eight. Remember, your middle eight should be 8 bars. That's why it's called the middle eight. So that should keep you right. And then also, if you're doing a hip hop song, then this would be the part of the song where the song breaks down, so to speak. So it might be in your hip hop song that this is where there's more singing. It might be that this is where, a great example, for instance, is Hey Ya by Outkast. Their middle eight, fantastic. Here it is. A great example of how a song breaks itself down, but it doesn't change chords, so it's still going round the same drum loop, it's still going round the same loop, but it just does something different in that loop, so you're not having to change anything melodic. If you're doing a folk song, then you probably won't have a middle eight. So that's cool. But another thing you can do if you're doing a pop song or a rock song or an indie song is you can change key. And that's quite a great example of how to do something very different with your middle eight quite quickly, and then come back to your original key for the last chorus. So those are all things to think about in terms of what you do in order to make that section of your song stand out. So your chorus is something repetitive, but it stands out from the verses. Your middle eight is something that stands out on its own, although it does not repeat. It's a standalone section, and it gives your song more weight, perhaps, or embellishes the meaning further. So it's something to think about. So I'm going to show you now my song on my digital audio workspace, which I use, which is Pro Tools. So here's my song on Pro Tools, and you'll see that I have got my vocal track, I've got my guitar track, but I've also got all these other little tracks that colour in the song and give the song a bit of interest.
A woodpecker don't start this early in the morning. I get this feeling there's something that you want to say. I have all my best ideas while you're sleeping. It's hard when you keep chipping away. You promised me sun would follow the rain clouds, but last I checked it's been pouring most every day. We got together, guided by love's little cherubs, but lately they've been finding better places to play. Your heart, my sleeve, things are getting quite a mess. Things get sketchy when there's something you just don't address. Yes, I've been waiting for you to tell me you're sorry. I'm sorry. Chipping away at the tail of my coat. I had all my greatest days when you'd talk to me, but you've been zipping your lips, so I'm hitting the road. Oh, your heart, my sleeve, things are getting quite a mess. Shit gets sketchy when there's something you just don't address. Yes.
So as you can see from all these layers, this is how I do what I call world building. So it's taking your song from its guitar or its keyboard or its drum loop and creating something new. And the best way for you guys to do that for free is to use BandLab. So today, if you haven't done already, your challenge is to go and get a BandLab account. So go and get yourself a BandLab account, sign up for free, and then next week I'll talk you through how to use BandLab to build your world. All right? So until then, remember that your hook line should be something definitive, something repetitive, and something where the melody changes from the verses. Your middle 8, once again, should be a singular section of 8 bars, which also helps to change the song up, embellish it somehow. You can do that by changing rhythm, you can do that by changing key, or you can do that by switching up the chords underneath. These are the things to think about for next time, and I'll see you then. Bye!